Hello, welcome. It is officially the first day of NaNoWriMo 2023. It's currently 10:01 a.m. and I have kind of like added into my calendar that from 10 to 11:30 today I'm going to do some writing sprints and I'm just going to get started on Nano. I do have a live stream tonight. I'm going to be joining Autumn Ashley's live stream. I will leave her link down below. It's going to be myself and a bunch of other authors here on YouTube. And we're going to do some writing sprints and probably just like talk about our projects and stuff, which should be super fun. So I know I'm going to get some words in then, but I kind of just want to like get started on the project. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not feeling 100% ready. I do feel like there's more prep and like mostly character backstory stuff that I could have had a bit more fleshed out at this point, but life has just been a little bit hectic and I haven't really had the chance to do that much fleshing out of like characters. So for the next hour and a half, I'm going to do some sprints. I'm going to try and get 3 20-minute sprints in and then kind of like take little breaks in between, and we're just gonna like dive right into it, see what we can get done this morning, and then I have to jump into my client work after that. So that is the plan. I hope that everyone has had a wonderful start to their NaNoWriMo so far. Please let me know about your projects in the comments. I love reading about them. Some of them sound so cool and I'm excited to like one day get to read them, but I wish you all the best. I am going to jump into my first writing sprint. I think I'm going to listen to the playlist that I have for this story and kind of like review my Pinterest board a bit more and then kind of just like jump in and see what happens. Okay, so I was only supposed to write for an hour and a half and then I got carried away because I was really enjoying what I was writing. And instead I wrote for 2 hours and I wrote 3,338 words, which is a fantastic start. Very, very happy with that. And I've written 2 scenes to start off the story. I have one more kind of scene to write, but it's more of like a letter that the main character is reading. So I know I have that, and then I actually need to decide on the scene that's going to come after that, just because I had an idea for what was going to come after that, but I feel like there might be something else that's more important to put first, but I have not decided yet. So I think that'll take a little bit of brainstorming today. But to start, it's now 12:30, so I need to have some lunch. And I've only done a bit of client work today, so I need to get into some client work and do at least a few hours of that. And then at 4 p.m. I have a NaNoWriMo live stream with Autumn and a bunch of other writers on YouTube that I need to jump into, so I will get some more words done when I jump into that. So for the next couple hours, I need to eat some lunch. I really need to clean my room. I need to take probably like 10 minutes or so and just kind of do a little bit of brainstorming for the next few scenes that I want to write, just so that I have those ready for when we jump into the live stream so that I know what I'm going to be working on. So that's the plan for the next few hours, and I need to get some food. So I've tidied my room, I've got some client work done. I still have more to get done, so I might actually use some of the writing sprints to get more client work done. Also because I'm at like 3,500 words now. I've also written out which scenes I need to work on next, so I'm not super concerned with getting more words in today, although I probably will just because I feel like writing it. But I also need to make sure that I'm like switching back and forth between client work and writing. But it's about 10 minutes to 4, so I actually have to jump on the live stream for like the NaNoWriMo kickoff. I'm gonna do that in about 10 minutes and then we'll see where we go from there. But it's been like a super successful day so far, which is really great because the more I get done when I feel like getting the words done, the less I have to do later when I don't feel like getting any words done. So we're off to a strong start. just before 8 a.m. On Friday, and it's a good thing that I got so much done on Wednesday, on the first day of NaNoWriMo, because I didn't write anything yesterday. And I kind of knew that I wasn't going to. I actually think that I'm gonna need a self-care day at some point, probably this weekend, or even just like a few hours or a night where I do some self-care, because I've still been feeling like very heavy. There's just been a lot going on and a lot of difficult things to like continue on and like cope with, I guess. This is also why it's important to kind of give yourself time to not write and take advantage of the moments when you do want to write, because moments when you don't feel like writing are they're inevitable. So yeah, it's Friday morning. I'm gonna get home, make a coffee, do my client meetings, and then I'm gonna try and have another writing day, because I feel like I need the like self-escapism, you know? So it's about 1 p.m. I think I've done 3 hours of client work. I actually don't remember, which is not good because it means I haven't been tracking. Yeah, I've done about 3 hours of client work. I need to do at least another like 3 hours of client work for today. The good news is that I have a pretty chill weekend, so whatever I don't get done for client work today, I can get done tomorrow, and I'm totally okay with that. So as I mentioned yesterday, did not do any work, and I kind of knew I wasn't going to. I had like kind of a speaker series to watch, and I got a lot of work done, which is great, but there was no writing. But it's fine, because we're trying to work with the ebb and flow of our creativity and motivation. I will say I'm enjoying how this draft has started. I mean, you all know, if you saw the first half of this vlog, I guess, I wrote 5,000 words that first day. And a lot of it, you know, there was a bit of like fun world building that I really like. It was written in very well, I think. One thing that I have started doing that I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up throughout the entire drafting of this manuscript, but I'm going to try my best, is that I've actually been keeping track of world building points that I need to add to like a world Bible. I'm just adding a comment that says WB for world building to certain names and descriptions of like certain materials or minerals in this world that are different than our world. They don't exist in this world. Or names of cities or places in this world. I've kind of like, I'm trying to get in a habit of marking those with a comment that says WB every time I get to one. I'm also doing that for character names. So when a character is introduced, I highlight it and I just add a comment that literally just says character. So I'm doing that when I introduce a character, but I am also doing that when I describe a character, just so that I can kind of add that to like their little character profile as well. And I've basically kept track of all of those things for world building purposes. I know that this is a difficult thing to try and do, especially when you're trying to write quickly. It's going to be difficult and it's going to slow me down in order to keeping track of all these world building things right off the bat. But I'm also banking on the fact that the first few chapters are going to be much heavier in world building than the rest of the book. So I'm hoping that I can keep up the momentum of tracking this world building in the first few chapters. And then by the time I start to lose motivation and kind of like taper off and start to forget to track those things, it won't matter as much and I won't miss as much, because I'll be further in the book and there'll be less active world building going on. So the goal is to just get through like half of Act 1 at least and have all of these world building pieces tracked, because I think that's going to be really useful down the road, just based off of like the situation that I've had with Between the Waves, my previous book or previous manuscript that I've been working on. If you were following that journey, the world building it's off the rails. And to be fair, for that book, I did create a world with 9 different realms that all have different like aspects of culture and socioeconomics and climates. And like, I really didn't have to go that hard with Between the Waves, but it's too late. But we learn from our inconveniences, and for this one, I'm just going to try and be a bit better at world building right off the bat. Where am I at? So I haven't really added any more words I didn't write yesterday. I did jump into the document and just review a little bit yesterday. I'm nearly finished with scene 3. I have about 7 more scenes that I've written out that should get me to act 2. They're not finished, but I've written like a little summary of what the scene is going to be and the purpose of it and what plot or subplot lines need to be followed. So just in case you're a numbers person. Wow, the math is mathing, and it is a beautiful thing. For the logical side of my brain right now, because we're at 5,000 words and we have about 2.5 scenes written. That means that we're hitting about 2,000 words per scene. I need to finish scene 3, and then I need to write 7 more scenes, which I do have outlined. I have them summarized in like brain dump basically format. So if it's 2,000 words per scene and I have 7 more scenes to write for a total of 10 scenes in this first act, then it looks like the first act is gonna hit around 20,000 words, which that is like such a nice even number for me, because if like Act 1 is 20,000 words and Act 3 is 20,000 words and then the chunk of Act 2 is 40,000 words, it just mathematically works out really nice in my brain, which is just nice. I'm sure that the word count won't stay like that. And I am, as I mentioned, this is something I'm actively trying to convince myself to like let go of the idea that it has to be super formulaic, but I will never be able to like push down the mathematical side of my brain that's like, ooh, it looks nice that it's 2,000 words or that it's 20,000 in Act 1, and it's like setting up nicely for a really even like act structure. You don't need to do that. I just can't really help it, so I'm focusing rather on making sure I don't like hyper focus on it and obsess over it. But I am appreciating when the maths regardless. I'm actually gonna end this vlog here just because I feel like I got very, very chatty and I had a hard time cutting out a lot of it because I genuinely wanted to talk about a bunch of the stuff that I did discuss. But because it's Friday afternoon, I am going to cut the vlog here because the next vlog is going to be a weekend writing vlog, which I'm going to start right now because it's Friday afternoon and it's basically the weekend. If you would like more behind the scenes from me, including stuff about a release that I have coming up, extra behind the scenes and exclusive updates and stuff will be over on my Patreon. If you're interested, I would love it if you felt like you had the capacity to support me over there. It really helps me out a lot. But thank you all so much for watching this first NaNoWriMo vlog. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.